Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 19 of Dirtmasters, the review series for the real rally cars that are featured on GT6. So this is the second of two Ford Focus rally cars of this series. This is the older model, the 1999 spec Ford Focus WRC. Interestingly, it actually has the exact same power and weight when fully tuned as the 2008 spec Ford Focus RS WRC, which is interesting. You wouldn't expect both to be that similar, but this car is 250,000 credits to buy compared to 850,000 credits for the newer version. So seemingly a better deal, but is it? Well, let's go to the track and find out. Now, the Focus is known in general for being a very good driver's car. So how does this particular Focus fare when compared to the other WRC models and also to other rally cars in general? Well, very well actually. Now in terms of straight line performance, obviously again it's just your average WRC car. So for acceleration it breaks average really, so it's a 3 out of 5 for that. But for low speed handling it's actually very good. The handling's nice and loose, but there's plenty of grip, and overall it feels very much at home on this city track. So for low speed handling and city tracks, I'm going to give it both a strong 5. So a pretty good result on city tracks. Let's see if it can continue that on a country track. Now, unsurprisingly, in terms of top speed, again, this is just your average WRC car. So for top-end performance, again, I'm going to give it an average 3. So not particularly good, but not bad either. What about for its high-speed handling and drivability, though? Well, I have to say, this car is actually far better than I expected it to be. And for high-speed handling, it's still brilliant. So I am actually going to give it another 5 out of 5 for high-speed handling, because it really does handle a lot better than I expected it to, and it's definitely one of the best handling rally cars for tarmac-based circuits in the game. For drivability as well, I'm going to give it a strong 5, because not only is it really good and can give you brilliant lap times, but it's also very easy to drive. It's an extremely forgiving car, there's a perfect amount of grip, and it's very user-friendly. So overall, again, for country tracks, I'm going to give it a strong 5. But let's see how it takes a dirt track. Now, obviously, dirt tracks present your rally car with a completely different set of challenging circumstances to a tarmac-based rally. And many cars that perform well on the tarmac don't necessarily carry over that success to dirt or snow tracks. But overall, I have to say the Focus really does. It handles and drives brilliantly on this track. The weight balance feels perfect, to be honest. You can really get a great counterbalance around corners. The car is fairly compact. The body kit on it is very slim to the body, so there's no aerodynamic appendages sticking out to catch on corners. It's a very sleek, simple, almost like a base car design on this particular model, which is very good. It makes it very nimble, very easy to drive, and you very quickly pick up the dimensions of the car so that you can really feel where you need to place the car on the track. And that is essential for a fast rally car. You really need to know the dimensions, the weight balance, and the feel of your car, and this car communicates that very well to the driver. Incidentally, this car's actually been a staple of the Gran Turismo rallying scene for a long time. I mean, I've never played the first game, but I know that this was featured from Gran Turismo 2 onwards, so this car has been a part of Gran Turismo for a very long time. And up until now, to be completely honest, I'd never given this car its due. I'd never used it that much, if at all, and I never considered it to be a very good car, but as it turns out, it really is. And for dirt tracks, again, I'm going to give it a strong 5, because it is very good. Its high-speed handling also on both road and dirt tracks is excellent, so I'm also going to give it a strong 5 for that. But can it carry that success and that drivability over to a snow-based track? Well, let's go to Chamonix and find out. Now, on the dirt track that we just tested this car on, it does fall a fraction behind, around 1 second behind the newer model Ford Focus. But on this track, a snow track, it's actually quicker. And that's pretty impressive considering they have the same performance, but this is not a premium model, and it's also a much older rallying model. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting this car to be very good on a snow track, because as we've mentioned before, the characteristics needed for this track type are completely different to a dirt track. But it actually performs brilliantly here as well. There's the perfect amount of grip, again, like on road and dirt tracks, and the balance of weight on this car just feels perfect, really. Obviously, you can adjust it if you do need it to be a bit different by adding ballast, changing the torque, etc. But overall, this car is naturally a very good fit for all 4 of our track types, and that's something which I was not expecting to say before setting up this review. So overall, for snow tracks, I am going to give it a strong 5 because it is very, very good. So now let's go back to the garage for a roundup of its best and perhaps worst point. Overall then, I have to say this Focus performed far better than I would have given it credit for. I expected it to be a mediocre rally car at best, but it's actually one of the best all-round rally cars we've tested so far. I think in terms of best and worst points, the best point would just be how good this car is all-round. Now obviously, in a pure straight line race, something like a Tajima E-Runner or the Escudo or a higher powered Evo, for instance, or something like that will outrun this car. But in real world rallying situations, be it on tarmac, dirt or snow, the sheer pace that this car's handling, grip and drivability allows you to maintain just really makes up for that straight line performance. And it is, as I said, one of the quickest rally cars that we've tested so far. Little bit slower than the other Focus on the dirt track, but quicker on the snow track, and similar kind of times on the tarmac. So overall, it kind of breaks even for performance, perhaps a little bit superior in real-world performance because of the drivability advantage. But overall, I would say that this Focus is actually a better car than the newer version, mainly because it offers at least as good performance, in many cases better, at only a fraction of the price, because as we said in the outset of the video, this is only a 250 grand car compared to the newer version, which is an 850 grand car. So obviously the newer version looks more interesting, it has a fully detailed interior, etc. And the newer model is a more desirable car overall, but if you're looking for pure performance and a car that will give you consistently quick laps and will win rallies for you, then this is the superior model of the two. And even against all of the rally cars of the series, this Focus scores very, very well. Actually far higher than I expected it to. And this is nothing to do with bias, because I am not a fan of this Ford Focus. But overall, its overall score, as always as a tabulation of all of its individual scores put together, is actually a really high 4.6 out of 5, which is only a fraction behind cars like the Escudo. So a very impressive all-round score for this Focus. So overall, it's definitely one of the best rally cars of this series so far. It's brilliant value for money, great to drive, very easy to drive, very fast. I'd say it's actually deceptively fast. It's a lot quicker than it feels. And it doesn't really have a downside, to be honest. If I had to pick a downside, it's kind of petty, but it would just be the looks. It's a bit of a dull looking rally car compared to some of the others. There's not much to look at. As I said earlier on in the video, it looks kind of like a base model, but that's not much of a downside really. In terms of actual technical performance, it's one of the best. So as always, I'll put this car's specs, lap times and ratings in the video description for you to compare it to the other rally cars if you need to. And that's it for this episode, so I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.